of it. Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome back to First Take, live at Davis-Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona, amongst America's heroes. Calais Campbell is here with us. We are having a fantastic time getting you set for Veterans Day weekend, where there's a lot of good sports coming down. I'm going to let that breathe for a minute right there. Thank you all. Again, really an honor to be here. Thank you for your sacrifice. Thank you for having us. Let's talk a little football. There's a matchup, Dallas. I don't know if you heard about it, Stephen A. A big matchup in Big D as the Cowboys host the Minnesota Vikings. Dallas going for their third straight win as they try to maintain their slim lead over the Eagles in the NFC East. The 6-3 Vikings are only a game behind the Packers in the NFC North. Which team wins, Cowboys or Vikes? What are y'all saying? I don't even understand you. Mixed bag there.
Believe it or not, this particular week, I'm going to pick the Cowboys to win this game. I think that, listen, I'm just one of those who believes that Kirk Cousins is allergic to prosperity. I think that going into Dallas, nationally televised Sunday night against that defense, particularly with the questionable, if not outright, omission of Thielen, who may not play in Sunday's game, I think that puts them at a disadvantage. Now, Dalvin Cook is something special. This brother is dynamite. He can ball. And obviously Zimmer giving him the football and allowing him to run goes a long way for them, because when he runs the football effectively, it opens things up for Kirk Cousins. We understand that. But on the road in Dallas, I think Dallas is going to be ready for that. And I think Dallas's defensive game plan is going to be to dare Cousins to beat them. They're going to put the heat on him. I think they're going to apply pressure. Lawrence and the crew, they're going to get to him, especially now Michael Bennett is there. They're going to get pressure on him. I think offensively they'll score enough points. They'll score over 20, 24 points or something like that. But I think defensively, they're going to put a hat on Kirk Cousins. They're going to shake him up, and he's not going to be able to overcome that. I'm predicting that the Dallas Cowboys will win this game somewhere along the lines of 27-20.
I think it's going to be a close game. I like the Vikings to win. If it was the playoffs, I would take the Cowboys, actually, because I don't believe in Kirk Cousins under pressure. I do believe in Dak Prescott under pressure. When you look at the way things have been going for the Cowboys, they're actually getting healthy on defense right now, which has been an issue, and you mentioned Michael Bennett's presence there now, but they have not shown the ability to stop the run this year at all. And you brought him up, Stephen A. Dalvin Cook is the truth, and especially opens up play-action opportunity for Kirk Cousins in a way that makes Cousins just a very good quarterback. I know what you mean in a close game, you like Dak, and if it was the playoffs, I would, but this not being the playoffs, the NFC East being wide open, the pressure not quite on Dallas as though it's a playoff game. I like the Vikings in a close one. I think Dalvin Cook will be the difference, not just the yards he picks up, but what he allows Kirk Cousins and the offense to do, even with Thielen hurt.
I guess I'll chime in on this.
Of course you will.
I really do think Michael Bennett made a big difference for that defense. And with his ability to just put constant pressure on quarterbacks, but also his leadership to make sure the other guys, who they have some very talented guys, are going to be on point and having pass rush plans and really bottle up Kirk Cousins. And when Kirk Cousins is under pressure, I think that he's been playing really well football right now. But I think that when it comes down to it this week, if they can put pressure on Kirk Cousins and bottle up that run, because Dalvin Cook is a rock star, but if you get an early lead and you take the running game away, make him one-dimensional, I see the Cowboys winning this game.
There's nothing that tells us the Dallas Cowboys can't put pressure on Kirk Cousins. That's my point. It's not a question of if the Cowboys are going to apply pressure. They're going to apply pressure. I don't give a damn if it's with their front four. They're going to blitz them all day. They are going to make sure that they challenge Kirk Cousins and they challenge his mettle. You see what I'm saying? We're going to get to you. We're going to put a hat on you. Even when we don't sack you, we're going to make sure we hit you. Okay? Let's see how you know that. That's what you do. That's what you do all the time. So it's real. And tell me this, and tell our audience this. It's the truth, isn't it? Y'all look at certain quarterbacks and y'all go like this. This fresh meat. We gonna put a hat on him all day long.
yeah.
This brother's gonna fold. Now there's some guys you can hit all day and they love it because they football players and they can take it. And then there are other guys. It's like, we gonna get him. I mean, even if he hears footsteps, he's gonna quiver. It's the
Yeah.
truth, isn't it?
There's definitely quarterbacks out there that, like, if you put pressure on them, they're going to fold. It's just the way it is. I mean, I feel like every quarterback you put pressure on them, they change a little bit. But there are a couple guys who really rise to the occasion and kind of get hit and smile.
Right.
Very few of those, though.
Right.
The Tom
Very few
Brady's
of
that sometimes you hit him and he has
You
a look in
see
his
him
eyes. It's
smile.
like, oh. Okay.
I think the game is going to be close. I think that depending on how things unfold, like the timing of it may make the difference. I brought up a lot on this show, Lamar Jackson needs to pass on early downs in order to open things up, right? I think in this game what you're looking for early is, can Dalvin Cook get cooking? If he can, Kirk Cousins will have a good game, especially as the game progresses, and you got to do something about Dalvin Cook. That opens stuff up. But if Dalvin Cook doesn't get cooking early, then I like the Cowboys. My prediction is you can't really stop this guy right now.
Let me ask you a question while I got you sitting next to me. All right.
Let's talk.
Calais Campbell. When you say there's certain quarterbacks, they give you that look. And it's like, hey, all right, they could take it. Was Kirk Cousins one of those quarterbacks?
I only played Kirk a couple times. I haven't played him a bunch. So
And he's happy about that.
I really can't. I don't remember what exactly he does, but I know the guy we just played last week, Deshaun Watson, is one of those guys, man. I don't like trying to hype up too many people, but that guy is worthy of all the praise he's been getting. He's a special talent.
What about it jumped out at you when you played him?
I mean, he take a hit and look at you and smile. It's like you just gave him everything and then some, and he gets up and smiles and keeps moving forward. You got to respect that.
And we were talking about like players like that, especially the quarterback that can, as Stephen A. says, galvanize the troops. You got a guy like that on your team right now. I talk about him a lot on this show. Nick Foles.
Love him. Ultimate leader, such a good guy. I really, truly believe this, too. If he didn't get hurt, he'd be competing for the MVP of the league right now. I know that's a big statement, but, he is an incredible
What is it about him? Why do all his teammates have this look on their face when they talk about him?
Well, he's selfless. He just wants what's best for everybody else. He's just the ultimate. He wants to know who you are, what drives you, and just you see him on the field, he has fun out there. I mean, he's out there playing scout team for us last couple of weeks, having fun.
Calais Campbell.
I said it, and I mean
MVP, really?
I mean, we'll never know. We'll never know.
Well, we do know, damn it. He's been around for a long time. We respect the hell out of Nick Foles. He's a Super Bowl champion, and we know what he did in leading the Eagles. But in terms of start to finish, with Patrick Mahomes in the AFC, with Deshaun Watson in the AFC, with Tom Brady in the AFC, you gonna sit up here and talk about Nick Foles as an
Beat
MVP.
Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, got the Super Bowl MVP.
So
he does the Super Bowl MVP. You know what? I see him in practice. When we were going through training camp, and then just to look in his eyes and just seeing, like, I mean, our offense is pretty special now.
is it possible that you feel that way? Because he's such an upgrade from what you were accustomed to prior to his arrival in Blake Bortles.
And I'm biased. I'm definitely biased. He's my quarterback now. And I mean, I love Blake. Blake is we have a great relationship.
Really, you do.
But I mean, Nick Foles, I think is gonna be a big
Calais,
player.
right
think he
now,
can drive you to the playoffs?
Right.
Nick Foles?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This season.
I'm very confident where we're at as a team. I think we have a lot of work to do, but I think we're going places. I mean, hey, we got 1 week at a time, but we're going places.
I love it. Another special quarterback I wanted to get to was Patrick Mahomes. He could make his return to the field on Sunday. I know we've all been missing him out there when the Chiefs visit the Titans. Mahomes' workload has increased during practice through the week, although the team has not officially named him the starter just yet. With Showtime Mahomes' potential return in mind, how many quarterbacks would you take before him for the remainder of the season, Max Kellerman?
None. If Patrick Mahomes is right, he plays quarterback at the highest level of all time. That includes Aaron Rodgers in his prime. What I've seen from Patrick Mahomes in a season and a couple games, the standard was Aaron Rodgers. I feel like Mahomes at least hit that standard. He can do
I'm gonna do you a
things
favor.
no one else can do.
I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm coming right back to you right now. because I want you to answer it correctly. Because obviously, if he's healthy, we're not even asking the question. We're only asking the question because he's coming off his injury. So knowing he's coming off his injury, now what's your answer?
Same. I don't think Andy Reid or anyone involved in that organization is going to risk the next 10 years, at least if he's healthy, where well, Michael Jordan wasn't Michael Jordan of anything until he won championships.
Well, I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about that. But number two, let me say this. The answer to the question directly, there's 3 guys I'd take ahead of him right now, only because he's coming off his injury. If he never got hurt, of course I would not do this. But because he's coming off his injury, combined with the way they're flowing right now, there are 3 quarterbacks that I would take. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers, Deshaun Watson, and Lamar Jackson.
All right, what does the guy think that hunts quarterbacks for a living?
I mean, I'm a big fan of Patrick Mahomes as well. You know, I mean, I played him twice this year and last year, and he whipped us both times. So I have to give him his respect. But I mean, obviously, I'm biased because Nick Foles is my quarterback. So I say if I had to take some person, I'm taking Nick Foles. You know, it is what it is, and I love Patrick Mahomes. He's a rock star.
We haven't seen
Stephen
Nick
A.
Foles drink some Gatorade yet this season. Why the hell you gonna pick him?
Well, we haven't seen Patrick Mahomes
quarterback.
win a Super Bowl either.
Cliz, what do you think of Stephen A's list, though? The guys he had ahead. He had Lamar Jackson ahead of Mahomes. He had Aaron Rodgers ahead of Mahomes. And who was the
I'm just
third
saying
one?
right at this moment,
Yeah.
Aaron,
And Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson.
Just right at this
what do you
moment.
think of that ranking?
I mean, those guys are playing real good ball right now. I mean, Lamar Jackson is, I mean, he's an ultimate leader out there playing, having fun. You know, he just beat the Patriots, who I don't think anybody thought could beat, 37 points against that defense was kind of special. I also think Deshaun Watson obviously just playing, you know, he's just finding his groove. I mean, he come back.
I understand Stephen A.
I'm not saying anybody's better than Patrick Mahomes, even though I
he's
would
healthy.
always throw Aaron Rodgers in there. I'm only saying in the moment, right now, the way they're flowing and the fact that he's been hurt, those 3 guys for this upcoming week, moving forward, I would want ahead of him
Mahomes
until
didn't
I
have when he was healthy, a healthy Tyreek Hill. By the way, I mean that's also
that brother's special.
That, you know, and you combine that with the best tight end in the game. Still, it's just a whole lot of. And Andy Reid knows how to use them. You brought up a couple guys. Okay, Lamar Jackson is the athlete that Mahomes is. He's not the quarterback Mahomes is. Deshaun Watson is the quarterback Mahomes is. He's not the athlete.
I don't think Mahomes is the athlete that Lamar Jackson is.
But Mahomes combines athletic qualities that just no one but Aaron Rodgers has in terms of being able to run and throw like that. And then he is also a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over and makes all the right plays. Like, it's insane what this guy is doing when he's healthy.
Do you actually care to listen to what we're saying? We know this about Mahomes. We're just talking about he's been hurt. So coming off his injury, I'm anticipating that he's still not going to be himself. And because if he's healthy, there's nothing to talk about. Of course, you're right. But because he's coming off his injury, the way Lamar and Deshaun have been flowing, I would take both of them in the AFC ahead of him at this moment.
I'll say one thing about Deshaun Watson. You bring up when you talk about Nick Foles, to me it seems as an outsider looking in, Deshaun Watson has that Nick Foles stuff in terms of his actual, other than his talent and his skill, how he honed that talent. He also has that thing that seems to get everyone on the team to believe. How could you describe what that is? Like, you talked about it with Foles. Watson seems to, what am I talking about what am I seeing?
I mean, it's really a confidence that makes other people believe. Like, makes me want to play better. You know, like you work with Nick Foles, and then you kind of like go to my, watch my tape, and I'm going to do my drills and stuff. I'm like, I need to work harder. I need to do more because this guy can actually lead us there. He can get us there.
How does Mahomes take those hits? Because you talked about Deshaun Watson.
Oh, he's the
you talked
same.
about Brady, and you said they got you guys twice.
Yeah, no.
He can
Patrick
take
Mahomes
it?
is the same. Yeah, he gets hit and gets up and has a smile on his face. It's like, I respect those guys. I love them. I love when the guy can get hit. But, I mean, the hard part is both him and Deshaun, they're tough to hit, too. I mean, those guys make you miss. I mean, they're very elusive. And then they'll throw the ball, right when you're getting ready to hit them and put it right on the money for a touchdown. It's like, oh.
Something
And
special.
I got this to say about Patrick Mahomes. Superstar. Talent, no doubt. I believe Deshaun Watson can catch him. I believe Deshaun Watson can be just as good, if not better, than Patrick Mahomes. He's not there yet, but I believe he can. He's got that kind of talent, that kind of skills. Deshaun Watson, as I said weeks ago, is something special. And he's coming. He is coming because he didn't have Andy Reid. He got Bill O'Brien with him. He don't have Andy Reid with him.
When I say Deshaun, when I said Mahomes, the Michael Jordan, when Jordan first came on the scene, before he won the championships, and people said, well, you can't call him the best ever, even whatever your eyeballs are seeing, he has to win championships, and then he won a whole bunch, more than anyone of his era. Mahomes jumps off the screen to me in football the way MJ did in basketball. I have not seen that before. I would liken Deshaun Watson, even though Dabo said he's like MJ, more like Magic Johnson. He can hit the clutch shot, but it's more about the effect he has on everyone around him to me than just the things he does. I see him more like Magic than Michael, if you want to make a basketball analogy.
Okay.
I don't know. No, we just leave it there.
You want to weigh in on that, on the Watson versus Mahomes?
I mean, I feel like they both are great quarterbacks. The NFL is in good hands going forward. Protect my pension.